Well, hello, and welcome to Stop. Let's Team Up 4-4-4, Episode 2. And I'm joined again by Kirby, and we're going to talk about the next 4 FF issues in the original run, issues 5 through 8. Say hi, Kirby.
Hi, Russ. Thank you for bringing me back for this batch of episodes.
Oh, yes. I wanted someone else to... Because, again, this is the first time you're reading a lot of this, right?
Oh, yeah. This is the first time I've read the Doctor Doom,
Really?
Puppet Master.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Cool. That's what I kind of like about it. I mean, I've read these. These are all ones I've read multiple times, even before I did the read of the Big Omni. And I'm glad I'm doing it a second pass. I think I said this on the first episode, that I'm enjoying them. I always enjoyed these issues, but the things that were kind of tweaking me the wrong way when I read this big run a couple months ago is going away, because now I'm kind of reading it a little more intensely, because we're going to talk about it, and I'm also kind of forgiving of some of the stuff that was bugging me, because I kind of just think that was the modern comic reader inside my head messing with, put yourself in the time when this came out. And that's why I sent you a picture of a letters column from it was in the letters column of issue 5, and it was from a young Roy Thomas in Sullivan, Missouri, which was cool, because that shows you how far back in comic history this really seems, because Roy is such a huge part of my comic development, and he was writing it when I was too young to read comics. Like, my first Avenger is the issue after he left.
Okay, which is actually kind of where I am in my Avengers reading right now.
Those you're in this weird shit between 100 and
Avengers Defenders is about to start. Yeah.
Okay, that's really good.
So Manus has just shown up.
Okay, you've gotten over the hump. That Daredevil with the African God and Black Widow joining for an issue. I think it was just, we have no idea what we want to do with this book.
I am so glad I have the next volume, so I can just kind of get the gist of what's going on.
Yeah, there's some rough stuff. I think 100's a great issue. Mm-hmm. And I think there's some good stuff between 100 and 110. But, some of it just doesn't hold up. Because it's transformative. They're changing it. And then Englehart for 105, 106, one of those, I think he's just... I don't know what characters I'm allowed to use and which ones I want to use.
Yeah. He at least got Hawkeye back in his good costume, so...
Well, he gets him back, and then he gets rid of him. I think he really wanted...
Yeah.
He really wanted to focus on Wanda and Vision, and I can't... When you're done, when you get through all the way through Giant Size 4... I really want to hear what your take is on the whole era with Swordsman and Manus, because I'm really kind of keen on them.
Okay, we'll do. So like Volume 8, I don't have. I think it's out of print, so I'll keep an eye out for it. But...
Oh man, I think I had one and sold it when I got my Omni.
No.
I have the one where they join. Oh, yeah, the Kang? No, the Kang War. It's back out.
Yeah, Kang War. Yeah.
It just came back out.
Oh, did? Oh,
it was just re-released like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Oh, shit.
I think it just... Well, no, wait a minute. No, that's the Busick Kang War. Yeah, fuck. I think it's... I don't know. I'd have to look, man, because some of those get expensive as fuck.
Yeah, no, that... I was very lucky to find the second Fantastic Four epic, and I got it for cover price, and I'll be glad to take it.
Because, yeah, what's in that? What does that go through?
It's like 18, it's like the first annual, and then it's like through 30, 31, 32, somewhere in there.
What's in this book? Hold on a second. I think this one ends with the annual. This goes through 30, and does it have the first? When is the first? Oh, first annual is after 20. Yeah, this goes 1 through 30 and the annual.
Yeah. So that's about where so that's good. So like 2 epics to the annual, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, well, we're going to get started, y'all. We're going to start with FF number 4, which was released on April 10th, 1962. I'm not even conceived yet. Jesus. I love it when I'm so far back that, I didn't see a reprint of this until like the 80s or 90s. when they, we really started to pump out some of these, like the archives and other trades came out. It's cover dated July 1962. It's got a great Jack Kirby cover. The cover is by Kirby and Sinnott. And why wasn't Sinnott inking earlier? Oops, sorry, that was mean.
We'll get to there in the months to come.
yes. No, see, I think that's when the art turns. I think I really like that clean style that from 30 to in those classic stories. I love Joe Sinnott made everybody's art look like FF art.
Yeah.
On Byrne, on Buckler, on Perez, everyone. It was great. But we see the four. It's only issue 5, and they're calling it the world's greatest comic magazine. The Fantastic Four meet Doctor Doom, and there's Doctor Doom on a big round view screen, saying, "I will turn with a turn of this dial. I shall destroy the 4 of you forever." And the Fantastic Four are all fighting. Sue's trapped behind a wall. Why is she invisible while she's tied up? Don't know. She tends to do that. Reed's going, "I've got to reach him. He's draining the air out of the room. I can't breathe. My strength is ebbing." "Air. I gotta have air," says the Thing. "My flame is dying without oxygen," says. "I'm helpless," says Johnny. And then Sue's thinking, "I must get in to save them. But how? How?" Very dramatic. See, I miss comics covers. Do you like covers that actually have something to do with the story?
Absolutely. Like, give me something that is like substantive and not just like a cool pinup or poster,
Yeah, I really get sick, but there are sometimes I really like them. I do like the one where when Alex Ross is doing like his Immortal Hulk covers are great. What's he doing covers for now? Thor.
Yeah.
And it's Al Ewing, so I'm reading Thor. And it's going to be good because it's already good. And I don't really like a lot of Thor, but I like Al Ewing's space opera, and I think it's going to be his. He does his operatic stuff is the stuff I like. But this starts with this is called the Fantastic Four and Prisoners of Doctor Doom. The roll call, which will be for a long, long time: Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Girl, The Thing, Human Torch. Antagonist is Doctor Doom, Victor Von Doom. This is his first appearance. Gunther the Tiger. Has he come back? The first Doombot appears. Then we get Errol Flynn is mentioned, or Submariner is mentioned, but there's a lot of flashback. But basically, this is the first time we meet Doctor Doom, and I think he's there right at the beginning. I think like the FF, he's really. There's a reason they bring him back. They realize that they needed to give him an adversary, and it works. What did you think of him in this compared to what reading later comics?
I think you're absolutely right. Like, he comes in. The only thing that's not Doctor Doom is they just have to do one quick little tweak to his costume, but other than that, he's there.
I do like this costume though.
It's not, but it's still not the classic, caped and tunic look yet.
Yeah,
but
he's not as big. He's not as majestic in this yet.
He's a mad scientist.
He's a little hammy, and he's full of himself, but he's not the leader of a nation.
No.
Yeah, but I kind of like it. I mean, it's still the birthing pangs for this, and Byrne, you read the Byrne stuff just before you read this, and a lot of this is kind of revisited. The building being taken space.
Yeah.
The costumes. Yeah. So, but this one starts out like, we start in the headquarters, and then all this stuff's happening, and then Dr. Doom comes with a big giant net and steals the Baxter building, and then we get his origin, which is classic. But before we talk about his origin, this is all formulaic, and it's fun. Johnny and Ben have another fight. Reed and Sue have to break it up, and then the powers go out, and this helicopter is over the Baxter building. It drops a net. Why does Dr. Doom's helicopter have a monster face painted on it? It is so stupid.
Okay, Ross, did you look at my notes that I wrote down on this piece of paper? Because you're just taking
Okay, it's really weird. It's almost as bad as the Thanos copter.
It's up there. And can I just say this a little bit? If you asked me a year ago of what the first Doctor Doom story would have been, I think I could have ballparked about the first third of this, and then I would have been off the mark for the pages 8 on.
No, it's well, one, you've read enough FF that you've seen. I mean, how much FF have you read? The Byrne stuff, that's a chunk.
Byrne, Hickman, and some later of the Kurt Jack run.
Oh,
and that's
okay.
And that's only Silver Surfer related.
There's a lot of good stuff out there that you're gonna really like. I've been thinking about getting more of them, like get the 2 Hickman volumes.
Yep.
I'd like to get the Fraction Aldred Omni, and I'd like to get the Kurrgo Wade, which is wonderful. They go to meet God, and he's it's so good. It's so good. So much fun. There's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of bad though too. I'm a big fan of the Simonson stuff, the Englehart stuff, and definitely the DeFalco. Is it Ron Lim? Yeah, it's Ron Lim and some other people, but it's really good. But we get to see this Doctor Doom origin for the first time, and everybody just kind of copies these, and for a good reason. It's a beautiful it's a 5-panel origin story, and it's really good. I mean, it's 5 panels, and you get this great story. It's kind of like in the first one with the Mole Man. You know, I like the Mole Man. It's just a page, and you get this whole epic part of their backstory.
And there's plenty of room where I know and I've read of like where they've taken these 5 panels and given 5 issues just to one of these panels. Like,
oh my God, yeah, to flesh him out.
Yeah.
And then there's always the not the argument, but there's a debate in comic lore: is he scarred?
Or is he just like? I think I've seen a Jack. Oh, Ross, did I cut out?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, I got a text from my boss. So she's telling me that the marathon's off and she's closing down Incident Command. So we had a marathon.
Oh, okay. That's good. Hopefully all went well.
Oh yeah, it seemed fine. It's all around the city, but we're not blocked. We get blocked in, so we're pretty much marooned. But yeah. Oh no, everything's been fleshed out. The sorcery stuff, man. I love Doctor Doom. I really love Doctor Doom. I think he's a great villain. I like it when he battles other people. I like that you don't know that he's a good guy or a bad guy. Oh yeah, and the thing about is he scarred? Did we talk about that last time? Is he scarred? Not scarred?
I don't think so, but it's like I know I've seen a Jack Kirby sketch where he just has like one tiny little scar, and it's like that's perfect. That I'll take that because it's his ego fuels him so much, and that's going to come into play in this issue. It's going to come into play next issue. It's all there.
I was reading one. Well, whose run was it? Was it Don Slott's? I was reading one recent run. I haven't read the new stuff. I was going to wait for it to to read it on the app, and then maybe if it's good, get the Omni, and I'll get the Slott stuff because I liked it. But there's one where Johnny humiliates him. And Sue and Johnny Doom's going to get married to this superhero who is the superhero of Latvia, this woman. And the night before they get married, she screws Johnny. And he gets pissed. And something happens, and Sue on television makes his faceplate invisible.
Ooh, wait, I think I might have actually read this one. That sounds really familiar. Yeah.
It's in the last couple of years, I feel terrible I can't remember. But I love that plot point that Sue does something and he is just anything I cared about you and his goddaughter Valerina is gone. I'm going to destroy all of you, and he screws Johnny up. So yeah. But this all that stuff comes from. I mean, this is a very basic. This is a kids' comic book version of Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
For 1962, and it works. I think the art's beautiful.
Yes. No. Again, I think this is the last issue where like Ben's orange is still just like a little warmer than Will, but he's slowly fixing. Reed, Sue, Johnny. I think they're all there in terms of like design.
Oh yeah. I think there's some tweaks to Sue that are going to come and are needed. She's a little generic.
I love Jack, but sometimes women are kind of his one weak
Byrne had
point.
the same problem. A lot of artists say drawing women's faces is a lot harder than men's to be different. I think it's men since they don't look at that face in the mirror. They may not have thing. But okay, what other first? It's like we get Latvia, but I hate his castle is in upstate New York, right?
That's what it feels like. It does not feel like it's in the foreign, like the Central Eastern Europe or wherever it's supposed to be.
The Balkans, like the Balkans by Serbia, it's in Romania.
Yeah.
So, but no, it doesn't. But there's also Zemo has a castle in South America. It's just it's so 1960s. It's like there's this almost like a Hammer film kind of thing to it.
Which is, I was thinking of this of like in the 1960s, you would have had Christopher Lee play Doctor Doom, like.
Oh yeah, easy. So I don't get why there's a net around except it's electrified, but there's a net. And he wants Sue, and he blackmails them into giving Sue up, and then in the second, I love the chapter things. What do you think about how you're really reading a 5-page comic, 5-page comics?
Honestly, it feels a little to me. It's the transition between like the Silver Age. Okay, we're gonna have one story of this, one story of that. Now we're gonna have the story take the whole magazine, but we'll just break it up. And the chapters, each like books have chapters, so to me it seems like a natural kind of transition as we go along. So. Yeah.
Because I like the extra splash pages. Back to the Past is part 2. And that's a great bit. I'm looking at an oversized, but Johnny, Reed, and Ben in the net. I mean, that's Reed's face. That's everybody. It's so good. He's a little filled out.
Yep. Johnny looks a little more than kind of like the little gonky sort of face he had in the first couple of issues.
Yeah, they both were kind of skinny and anemic kind of looking. Now they're a little more. And then and the shark face, is that what's painted on his helicopter? Is it a shark?
I read it as a shark, and I was going to ask, what the heck?
Okay, I want to ask you on page 7, panel 4, what color is his helicopter in your version?
Like a magenta sort of color.
Okay, it's bubblegum pink in mine.
Yeah, magenta bubble, yep.
So it's yellow and it's pink and yellow. It just is so out of place from everything else. But the kids would have thought it was cool. They're in it for the kids. Okay, there's Gunther the Tiger. Why does he have a tiger? I don't remember him having a tiger.
In the Byrne run, I don't remember a tiger, and I feel that's the sort of thing he would have absolutely thrown in.
Yeah, because he revisits this. Englehart loves revisiting this thing.
I've got 2/3 of the Englehart run, by the way. I meant to mention that earlier.
Of the FF Englehart?
FF Englehart, yeah.
It's well, you'll like it, Mantis. If you enjoy Mantis, the first incarnation of Mantis, the early Englehart version, you'll like her in there. She's very different now, even in modern comic. It's still the Mantis. It's okay, but I would like to get all the Englehart Silver Surfer from when Englehart's #1 through, because that was a really good comic, and she plays a big part in that too.
Oh yeah.
But I like that we get to see his time machine for the first time. And
Which
he's sending...
I know...
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, it's like I know they'll steal this from him, take it, because I know Ben used it to travel back and meet his former self with it.
Yeah, they steal. Relatively quickly they get it. They steal it from this castle. Okay, this is the mission he sends him on. What did you think of it?
Was Jack just trying to mess with Stan and see, hey, all right, I'm going to give you these pages. You make sense out of it.
He had to have told him what was going on because it's so precise, but it's so silly. It's like, I want you to find Blackbeard's treasure for my money. So Doc Doom's just basically a punk-ass thief. It's a little too... It's so simplistic. But it also has the element of time travel, them going into the past, doing all the fantastic things that Fantastic Four do. Because that's what the big thing about the FF is. They do larger they have bigger adventures than other people.
Yeah, no, like, I think that it's still a really good time travel. I just would never have guessed, oh, we're going to throw Blackbeard into all of this, and
I love it.
which I love the Ben Blackbeard. It does look it's very entertaining to look at. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, no, and I think his talent as an illustrator of other types of comics, by then, he's not doing romance, he's not doing horror, he may be doing some more, but he's almost all superhero by this point. But he had done everything else, and it's gorgeous. When they hit in the past and they go to the tavern and get drugged and get shanghaied, it's awesome. I think it's gorgeous.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at it. There's plenty, like, you have Reed in the suit. He's still able to stretch in the suit, and that's just, classic comics. You just gotta love it.
That comes up in a letters column 2 issues later.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we get to that one, folks, we're gonna read like one letter from each of the letter columns in the issues, starting with these. So, but yeah, then in the next part is the trial of Blackbeard. They wake up on the pirate ship. Some other guy is the head of the pirates, and Ben has this habit of going, I don't want to go up the stairs. I'm just gonna climb through the floor or the street. And I think it's in every issue what we're doing, there's at some point he comes up from beneath. And he fights the pirates, and they fight him with their powers, and they take over the ship, and then that's a chapter. I like it. It's nothing but action and silly fun, and I think it's kind of cool. And if I was 6 or 7 years old and read this, I would have thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just like, and then it's fun. Then they're just moving on. They're attacking another ship, just being pirates. I think.
Oh yeah, it's basically becomes a pirate comic with a little bit of superhero stuff, and then it's superhero. It's still 2 chapters. It's nothing but the pirate stuff. Even though they get out of their Reed has to get out of his clothes, so to stretch as far as he wants. But yeah, and the art's great. The splash. I caught this time. It's the splash page part is on the bottom of the page instead of the top, and it's part 4 battle, and the battle looks like a comic title from the war kind of thing.
Oh.
And Johnny looks like an Alex Schoenberg Human Torch. Doesn't it look like a Golden Age Human Torch cover?
Yeah, no, I can definitely see kind of like the more, like you said, Golden Age, because like the only time I can ever think about another pirate story is in Watchmen. So
yeah. There are DC did a lot of pirate comics, and it was a genre, it was a subset. It's weird stuff, but it's just like a western, or sure. They all are basically the lone soldier or character walking around. But I like it. Reed, they move from one ship to the other by running on Reed. And they yell this is where we find out that Ben is Blackbeard, and they're like, Johnny's great. Blackbeard? But they're talking about the thing. Good Lord. I see it. The thing is Blackbeard. He came back to the past to find himself. Oh my God.
I hope this has been kept in Marvel lore in the ensuing decades.
Actually, I know when they go back to Rama Tut, Englehart takes when West Coast. I don't know if they go here, but they may do that in his Doc Strange, because I think they're not the only ones in the back. I think people have inserted other heroes in the background like they have in the first Rama Tut story.
Okay.
And they decided they're going to dump out all the treasure and fill the trunk with chains. They're thrown overboard. There's a storm. All of a sudden, there's a storm. They're the only ones that survive. And then at the moment Johnny finds the wash ashore trunk, Dr. Doom turns on the time machine. It's like, okay, we got to get out of the pirate situation. How do we do it? Oh, okay, a water spout.
Yep. One thing I love is just, Ben is just like, why can't I say? The future holds nothing for me. In the 20th century, I'm nothing but a monster, a freak. But here, I'm somebody. I'm a leader of men. I'm a captain. I'm the guy who started the legend of Blackbeard. The kids will read about me in school someday. I ain't giving this up. Never. And, oh, I love that panel.
I do too. It's so, the art is gorgeous. And then I love this time machine that is the flat panel that goes up and down and takes you back and forth, because I think it's one of the greatest inventions of this issue is that device, because it does come up. It becomes basically the Marvel form of time travel, and it's great. And I like how when they give him the trunk, it's like, how long did you? Okay, yeah, you're pretty stupid. Your plan is just, he opens it within minutes of coming in, and then when he gets upset, you're just gonna punch him.
Yeah, not. They didn't think it through, but what are you gonna do?
And then Ben takes a pot shot at him, and we find it's just a robot.
So yeah, the first Doombot.
Yeah, I like it. I like how there's the continuity. The modern comics don't have as much, but Johnny has this line: "Read, the gems were scattered to the bottom of the sea during the storm. What if submariner should ever find them?" And Reed goes, "We'll just have to pray that he never does, Torch. What would you care? Why is it important?"
Yeah, because, like, if I didn't misread, there's nothing magical about them in and of themselves. They're just jewels,
And,
right?
Yeah, and he's, there's probably a lot of jewels in the ruined city of Atlantis. But there's just, I love to me, this iconic ball, like globe that comes out of the ceiling with Doom in it. From reading this is really etched in my head. This whole image and this whole part of the comic. I like how Sue's the hero.
Yep. It probably because like Doom forgets, so she takes advantage. Forgets that she's there, so she just takes advantage of it and saves their others from suffocating to death.
Yeah. The science in this is a little sketchy. Okay, Reed stretches out, pulls out the wood, and then Johnny goes, "Here's something I've been wanting to try for months. By giving my flame the intensity of atomic heat, I can actually boil a section of water away and fuse the ground, turning it into a substance of like glass." I'm like, okay, the comic book logic.
Okay.
But I also like that he has a limit back here.
No.
Everybody has a limit. Like it's an old superhero crutch.
And then they ensnare Doom in his castle and to try and smoke him out or punish him off, and Doom just straps a jetpack to his back and takes off.
Yeah, I love it. I like it. Yes, because that's one thing about this costume I like. I like without the cape. There's something about this costume I just like, and it just looks kind of cool. It is tweaked by. Is it fixed?
I think by next issue.
Yeah, it is. There's some weird colorings on the cover.
Yeah.
So what I like in the epics, or not the epics, in the omnis, they put the letter pages, and they're all yellowed because they're all like photocopies of an old comic. So we're going to start with the first letter we're going to read, and it is from the letter column in issue 4, and it's regarding, issue 5, and it's regarding issue 3. Dear editor, FF numbers ... FF3 was excellent. The feud angle made it all better through particularly the ending. The continuity in FF is all that could possibly be asked. Of course, why? He's in love with continuity, this letter writer. I wonder why. I'm just subscribed to the FF for 2 years. I hope it runs much longer than that. And signed, Roy Thomas, Sullivan, Missouri. And their response is, "So do we, Roy, so do we." And he will write this book in 120 some issues, so 10 years in. And it is it's still going strong, Roy.
Whatever happened to little Roy Thomas?
Oh, he's a gentleman celebrity living in North Carolina. His FF was the first FF I read, and I do like his FF. I also like that he was the first one to change the well, no, he wasn't the first one. He was the second one to change the membership. But I love Medusa as a character. So we're going to move on to issue 6, which is the world's greatest comic book, The Fantastic Four. Um, and it's the Fantastic Four standing up against Doctor Doom and Submariner. And the caption on the cover goes, "Have the Fantastic Four at last met their match when the mighty Submariner and the evil Doctor Doom team up? Don't miss! The diabolical duo join forces." So I love this cover. What do you think?
I really love it too. I wonder what, like, it would be better if they didn't have the huge block of red to kind of give it a little more space, but that might just be of the times thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little too much. I don't know why Doom is all green. Is he all green on yours?
Yeah, it's still green on mine. And Namor's trunks are also red. And
well, that's his.
Changing to green was later.
Yeah. I think this is one of the color his trunks was in the Golden Age, so they kind of repeated it. But I don't think it was the whole time. I think his were like red and black or red, something like that. And green is I think green is more the Silver Age version. I'm not sure. I've not read a lot of Golden Age Marvel because I don't think it's as good as TC's.
Yep.
So, but again, it's another 5-chapter story, and we get it. The first one just starts with the Human Torch flying around, everybody talking about it, little exposition. Sue bumping through the crowd again. This happens a lot repeatedly in the early issues. She gets into the Baxter building. We get to see how they use the elevators for the first time.
I couldn't remember if they had shown him with the belt buckles.
No. And we get to see a postman, but it's not Willie Lumpkin yet. So, and we get the first cutaway on page 3. No, this isn't the first cutaway.
It's the second one, but this is way more expanded than the one in issue 3, and it looks even better.
Oh my God, it's great. I love cutaways of headquarters. I do. They don't do them enough. They don't do them at all anymore. I hate it.
No, they don't. And there's some bits of it's early 60s, so the computers takes up an entire room in and of themselves, which
yeah.
I love. Don't get me. I love.
Oh, I do too. And they're hanging out, and Reed's gonna go. Some kid's written a letter, and it's for what does they call it here? Okay. He goes. In fact, let me get that guy. Okay, reading a letter. In the meantime, we have a lot of mail to catch up with. Here's another letter from that little boy who's hospitalized. In fact, he's at Harmon General Hospital, right across the street. This letter gives his floor and the location of his room. Say, won't he be tickled if I drop in for a visit unexpectedly? I sure give him something to talk about with his fellow shut-ins. And he stretches over and he just hangs out, leaning on the windowsill, talking to the poor sick kid. Reed, you're a nice guy.
Yeah. And again, Ben has finally changed to like a proper shade of orange here.
Yeah, his eyebrows are starting to become more pronounced.
And I do love the shot of Reed stretching. I feel like that's a very Jack pose, like that arms out angle and all that.
Oh yeah, everybody's just doing that. It's great, and he does it a lot. Oh yeah, there's a letter from the
Yancey Street Gang.
Oh wait a minute, here's the first. Is this the first explanation of the
unstable molecules?
Yes. Wait. The reason my costume stretches to any length I do, it's woven with chemical fibers containing unstable molecules that shift in structure when I affect the change.
I think it is. I wish I could tell you more. Just because the 4 issues, it's been a month since I read them, so I couldn't remember. Did they mention those?
Oh, wait a minute. We didn't do the general basic information because we just kind of jumped right in. So let's go to the fan wiki and see if it is in the trivia. But I dig in this one. We'll probably go faster this one because the plot is light in this one.
This is the quickest pace of the first couple issues.
Yeah. Dr. Doom goes and recruits Submariner. You know, Submariner's not stupid, but he's just kind of like, you're not that big a dick.
No, yeah, and Doom is, I think the panel that solidified Doom here is on the last panel of panel 6, page 6. Never fear, I am strong enough to join the powers of science to those of darkness. Show me the puny mortal who does not tremble at the name of Dr. Doom. And I'm like, that's it.
Yep, that's Doom. An egotistical little wank. But this one was released on June 12, 1962, cover date September 1962. We didn't do credits for the last one. Oh, I feel terrible. Let's go back. We'll do both. We'll do the credits real quick. For 4, it's Stan, Jack, Joe Sennett inks, Stan Goldberg colors, Artie Simic letters, and editor Jack Kirby. And the next one it's a Jack Kirby, Dick Ayers cover. And it's Stan and Jack, and then Dick Ayers and Joe Sennett split the inking, Stan Goldberg, Artie Simic. And let's see in the trivia, is there... Maybe doesn't. Let's see. Unstable molecules mentioned. First mention. Yay. So that's cool. I like that. And I really like the chapter 2 starts with this. They're traveling underwater and Doom's. See, Doom got rid of the pink shark copter and got a really cool rocket plane.
Yes.
This is a really good design, and it looks great going through the ocean. And he's got the full armor and the cape now. It doesn't look like he's got the mini skirt. He's got like a superhero underwear thing.
Yeah,
going
more of like a unitard sort of thing.
Yeah, and I like how just Jack's design of the one thing about his FF. And it gets bigger and bigger as he goes on. It's just he builds this world and an aesthetic that is. It's not just Marvel, but it's very specific to these characters, and it's so good. I love the throne room.
He puts so much effort just into like this one panel that's probably never going to show up again, or if it does, it's going to be for another panel or two.
Oh, yeah, and then you see him convince, Doom goes, hey, look, the humans dropped atomic bomb on your city, it killed them all, and he plays on his motions.
Have you ever read Christopher Priest's run of Black Panther?
Yeah, it's one of the best comic books ever written.
Absolutely, and I think it's in there where T'Challa and Doom are just kind of playing off each other as like pseudo rivals because they're both leaders of nations and all of that.
Is that kind of where I don't know where
did it show up before then?
No. That's really kind of where it starts, and it's definitely played into when they become when T'Challa and Namor become rivals and heated enemies, which is what they have been for like the last 10 or 15 years, which I like. But he gets Submariner to do some stuff, but Mariner, okay, at any point is he really doing what Doom wants?
I kind of go back, like, Doom definitely knows which buttons to press, so it's either he's doing what he wants or Namor thinks he's doing it of his own volition. I think you could easily read it either way, but to me, Namor's not this dumb to just...
No, and he's really just, he goes and talks to them. There's no really a battle.
No.
And he happens to be in the building when Dr. Doom, this time, lifts it up into the air, which Byrne does again.
And, yeah.
But it is so over the top, but it is so cool. That panel, there's a splash, folks, for Chapter 4. All these are on the Marvel app. They're definitely worth if you're on the app, read them. The building breaks apart a little bit. I didn't remember that part.
Oh, and one thing, and this is when Byrne lifted it up too, is like they mentioned conveniently this building is completely empty except for the 4 of them. So okay,
yeah, okay, but I think it's cool. I mean, the art's great. It's this great space adventure, them going out into space, and on like page 20, Namor diving and getting closer and closer. It's great.
That's Jack. That is Jack to the end.
I've seen this done in flashback like several times. I think I've seen I can't remember. I know I've seen other people do it. And again, this great rocket ship design that he's been using. It's been a plane, a submarine, a spaceship.
It does anything he wants it to do. Mine is it's kind of that pink magenta. I don't know if that's what it is in yours.
Yeah. What is it?
The ship.
Yeah, it gets her kind of pinkish. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know what causes. He tries to electrocute Submariner, but it backfires on him. The Submariner is, here's the rest of Full Blast. You didn't kill me with that electrical charge. Like an electric eel, I absorb it, store it, and I'm returning it. And he fries Doom, and Doom is blown out into space and clings onto an asteroid, never to be seen again. Yeah, right.
Never again.
And the Baxter Building floats right back into place. There's no structural damage.
No.
Oh, because it's got that little device of his.
The little like magnet gripper or whatever they called it device. Yep.
Yep, it's great. And these, I like this. It was kind of a one and done. It's I know you haven't read have you read the early Avengers, but once Hulk leaves in 2, he comes back after Cap joins, and him and the Submariner team up. So that's what they're kind of doing, is because I think Doom is a bwahaha villain most of the time. I think in modern comics he's less that. Mm-hmm. But like Namor's never really a bad guy. He's an adversary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. He's an antagonist to them. He's an antagonist to them like Apollo Creed is in the first Rocky.
Yeah, it's like you kind of like him. So let's see what there's does this have the one in here that I was thinking of? Oh yeah, this is the one I want to read. Dear editor, I just read a copy of the Fantastic Four #4. It's great. There's nothing like it. This was the first time I ever read your mag, and I'm glad I did. You're really starting a new approach toward comic mags. Here the characters act like everyday people. Congratulations, keep up the good work. Gregory Cristino, Bronx 65, New York. That must be an early postcode. And then their response is, what we want to know is, where were you when the first 3 issues were on sale, Greg? So now we move to issue 7. This one I have some opinions on.
Okay, good. We might be on the same page then.
Yeah. One. Okay, it's pulling it up. This is a Jack and Dick Ayers cover. It's like a throwback to it really is rough compared to what we've seen in the last few.
I'm going like, ooh, guys, this is a step back. And I like Dick Ayers as an inker. I think he can be really good, but this is not his best work.
No, I don't think it holds up to the other ones. It's World's Greatest Comic Magazine, #7, Wanted Dead or Alive, Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, The Thing, Invisible Girl. Why does the human race turn against the Fantastic Four? Only the master of Planet X knows the answer. We escaped just in time. We can't remain on Earth any longer. We've got to head for Planet X. And the crowd has got clubs and torches in New York City. What? They're shouting down with the FF. What did you think? I mean, the cover is really kind of silly.
Yeah. Let's just get it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off on this one. This is the first issue I really did not like.
I don't think it holds up. I think it is very much a comic of its time. I think there's some good imagery in it, but it doesn't grab me and let me kind of. It's like a really generic Golden Age story. The alien comes down. They send
Gort,
yeah, which is a good design. It's very the day the Earth stood still. They go to a banquet, and oh god, the cheesy stuff with I'm afraid of having a speech. I might burn everything. Ben's afraid. We see what they're afraid of, and it's just really like. I guess this is for little kids. You know what I mean? That's the audience. I do like to get to see. We see Reed be very flat going through a vent.
Yeah, and this feels like the start of like Ben and Johnny kind of pulling pranks on each other, which is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to say that, like, I think in my head now, Ben in the 60s at least is voiced by Fred Flintstone. I just want to get that out of the way.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Hold on 1 second. My wife's asking me if I'm going to be done soon. It's like, nah, I'm going to be a bit. We're not quite done. But I like it all. I mean, I think that some of the art is great. I love the Fantastic Car. I like the robot, but all the stuff, it is just so generic. I mean, all the parts. What I do think is great when we get to Planet X.
Yeah.
Some of the cityscapes and stuff like that looks great.
Yes.
Um,
but it takes too long to get there.
It does. And then, we're going to shrink him down, and, he's like, well, I've got the regrow ray, because they only have 2 spaceships. They got to get 4 billion people on them, so they shrink everybody down. Roy makes a shrinking gas, and then Kurrgo, is it Kurrgo?
It's Kurrgo?
Kurrgo. He goes, well, I've got
Kurrgo,
I'm just not going to shrink, and they will all be tiny and worship me, and he can't get to the spaceship with the grow ray, and it's like, oh no, it's just Gare. So he comes back at some point. I can't remember when, but he does come back.
Okay. The ending of this should be a good, Twilight Zone Outer Limits, but I don't feel like we spend enough time with Kurrgo for it to, really make an impact.
No, because the robot's in it more.
Yeah.
And the robot looks cool, but it's just such a very one and done. You've seen them reach kind of being, they're not breaking the rules too much, but they're really moving in the direction of what we're going to see in the 6th. We're transitioning we're getting deeper into Silver Age Marvel.
Yes.
So, but this issue, I don't have a lot to talk about it because it doesn't hit. It doesn't nail it. I'm glad I'm rereading again. I think I caught more of the art.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a little rougher than the last couple issues.
Yep. There's some nice Kirby tech in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I like all that. I do have an edit. We got the letter for this one. It's the first international one, I think.
Oh.
Dear editor, as an English schoolboy reading the Fantastic Four for the first time, may I say how intrigued I am with it. I have been thrilled with the story about the Submariner, and hope I will miss none of the future copies, so I may keep up to date with this smashing magazine. John Davidson, Nelson on Tyne 3, England. How about that? We may ask for the State Department subsidy building up goodwill. Many thanks, John. We hope you will continue to enjoy the adventures of your American cousins. So, it was what it was. It's, but we're going to move into something better.
Much, much better.
Yeah, I love this comic. It has some very kiddie kind of elements to it, and far-fetched little things like, we're going to put a wig on the blind girl and everybody's going to believe it's their best friend Sue. How dumb are you?
I got some more comments on that, but we'll get to there.
But it's got a great cover. It's number 8. It's the November 62 issue, and it's got the Puppet Master with that great face they give him, that he looks like a painted puppet. And he
so creepy.
He is so creepy. And he's going, obey me, for my will is your will. All right, so we get the Puppet Master. He's got a great face. He's playing with them marionettes, and the cover title is Prisoners of the Puppet Master. This is such a great comic. The art is, hold on, let me go back and give you, not going to forget him this time. It's another Jack Dick Ayers cover. It is probably the best of all of them, I think.
I would say so. For this batch, yep.
Yeah, it came out August 9th, 1962. Cover date November 1962. Jack, Dick Ayers, Stan Goldberg. The art's much better than the last issue. First appearance of Alicia Masters, first issue of the Puppet Master. He does not get a name until issue 100 and something.
Really?
Yeah, that's weird. But it's basically, the first part, they're in the middle of something. Oh, yeah, Johnny and Thing are dueling. They have to break it up. Sue goes out to calm Ben down, and they catch this kid climbing the Brooklyn Bridge, the cable, and Sue fires the flare gun, and Reed stretches all the way from the building to save the guy, and then we cut away and we see the Puppet Master with his little model of the kid on top of the model of the bridge. And I love it that when Johnny touches the guy, makes the puppet hot. I like that it's 2 ways.
Yep.
Even though the science is stupid.
It's radioactive clay that controls people. This does not break my reality.
No, it doesn't. It's comic book physics, and I get it.
I think you said, you saying with the marionette eyes? I also think that helps. Like the mouth kind of gives it like a nutcracker look, maybe.
Well, he always makes sure that there's a shadow going down from the lower lip to the chin, so it looks like the puppet, the hinge.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
He's a great design. Alicia's, not fully formed, but you like her. She's not she doesn't seem like a throwaway character.
No, and they quickly hit the right note with her and Ben in this issue.
Oh yeah, that she senses his strength and his gentleness. I love it. It's so good because I love Ben and Alicia, and I love this character. And I mean, they humanized Puppet Master a little bit in the last decade or so.
Yeah.
So I love her because when she's been kidnapped, he's pissed.
Yep.
I like that. But he's manipulating people all over. Ben, the control goes away when Ben turns human again because he gets covered in some chemicals.
Right, which is like what they were keeping him away from Reed's lab from in the beginning. So.
Oh yeah, because he was trying to make him heal him.
Yep, it's why I was working on the lab. I didn't want you to know about it in case it failed. You've had so many disappointments. I didn't want you to suffer another one until I was sure. Which, poor Ben.
The panel of Ben with Reed, where he's holding the thing at the bottom of 12 on the left-hand side, that Ben looks like Burn Druid.
Ooh. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. But I like this, and that's when Reed goes, "Hey, this girl isn't Sue. Jesus, man, that's your girlfriend. This woman has been in the building. I know you've been getting chased by the thing."
Okay, so here's my bigger issue with this, and it's not anything in these issues, but okay, if Alicia looks enough like Sue to trick them, and then Johnny starts dating her later, that's just weird. I'm not gonna go further, but that's weird.
Oh, it's also, would you really date your best friend's girlfriend?
No, but man, we could. That's another.
I liked I really liked. I kind of liked it when I was reading it. I mean, I thought about it. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's a good story, but not Johnny's best moment.
Yeah, but I like that
Johnny's a dullard.
He's a bit of a prick. So.
Yeah.
But I like it. I mean, he does he's cool. He's basically a nerd boy, the Puppet Master, with his action figures. Controlling the world, because he does a prison riot. He has a flying winged horse puppet.
Yep. That he already has built to fly and can outrace Johnny.
Yeah, I love it. I like the riot stuff. Definitely, they're all dressed like it's Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah.
But it's the art is stunning. And the action's great. And we get to see his dream is to be this king. And he's got a puppet of himself. Kind of creepy.
Yeah. I can see it. And then it ends with Alicia's trying to grab his puppet. And he trips over her arm, falling out the window. And what is it? What happened, Reed? What made the Puppet Master fall? I wonder if we'll ever really know. And it's like, it's a simple ending, but it's a very good ending.
Yeah, it's very kind of Twilight Zone. So, okay, I really like the story overall. I thought I was never a big Puppet Master fan. Does yours have, it's just a great issue. I've never been a fan, I've not been the biggest fan of Puppet Master. Both times I read this in the last few months, I really liked it. I think it's above par. I'm kind of...
Yeah, no, I really do like Puppet Master. I actually kind of liked him when I read him in Burn, so for this it was good to really see his first appearance and all of that. So, and I think they did good, where it's like even the Jailhouse Riot, you get some good Ben and Reed action. It doesn't feel like very, throwback, kind of like the last issue did. It felt, it worked so well to kind of move the story along, give it some action, because you can have the Fantastic Four gang up and fight this guy, because he's not a physical match for anybody.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's what I kind of like, that they have these weird villains. Him, the Red Ghost, stuff like that. I think there's a good mix of, because I think this book, Fantastic Four, works because one story is superhero, the next story is space opera, then you can have them battling magicians. It's a good mix. So,
Yep.
and sometimes these one and guns, because I can't remember. There are not a lot of these in modern FF. You don't have these kind of one and done against one guy bad guys, and this was a really good one. So, does the Epic have the Fantastic Four feature page, which tries to use?
It does have that where it's Johnny explaining like, here's how my powers work, here's how my clothes don't burn up. So again, they mentioned unstable molecules again, so good that they kind of latched onto that quick and easy.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love those things. Let's play. We're Marvel. We're just gonna make shit up and then give you the explanation.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. Let's get this letter and then we'll kind of wrap this up. I had one picked up. Oh, yes. Dear Editor, I think your mag is stupendous and all that jazz. But being a girl and reading the Fantastic Four, everybody thinks I'm all odd. How can I convince my friends that the FF isn't meant only for boys? Or is it? One other thing. How did the FF meet? Or did I miss a copy? Cynthia Moore, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And the response is, Cynthia, honey. Okay, right there, you're a dick. Here we'd like to think that peoples who don't read FF are odd. As for how they met, we'll keep summarizing their origin from time to time to let you readers catch up. So that's very cool. I like that there was a girl reading this in 1962.
Absolutely. Like this kind of appeals to everyone, even though Sue is kind of not written the best.
Yeah.
You can see, because 60s, this has an appeal for kind of everyone. Like, we had a pirate story, like you mentioned. We had sci-fi, all of that. So there's something here for everybody.
I like it. It's a good balance of all that stuff. And they're really cute. These are really fun comics. And that's a big thing. That is, I like Silver Age comics. I think I prefer a lot of DC Silver Age, like Silver Age Batman and Superman. I love it. I just love it. Silver Age, other stuff not so much. And this is good because and I'm glad I read this Omni, and because I've never read the FF from 1 on, and I want to do that. And I'm glad I'm kind of going back and reevaluating it, because I did kind of bash this whole chunk.
You did.
Yeah, I did. But I think but there's a lot more in the middle that bugged me. I mean, this is fat. This is, 31 issues, so it's it's a doorstop of a book. But I think I'm enjoying it more. I think because I read it I think sometimes when you do a read through, sometimes if you get to an issue that's not fantastic, it doesn't stick. You just kind of move on to the next one and go, good, I got brain cells, I'll store the better issue.
Yeah.
So, but it was kind of good to reevaluate. What was your take on these 4 as a whole?
So I think as a whole, again, like, we have really started to zone in on what works. We had one little misfire, but the other 3 issues more than made up for it. I am glad I am reading this kind of in order, and I'm debating on holding off going forward so you get my actual first, but we'll see how well I stick to that.
Maybe 2 couple times. But I haven't started volume Epic Omni 2, and I would like to. I just finished reading all of the Silver Age Cap Volume 3, the Englehart stuff. Wow, I liked it, but there was some stuff that is incredibly dated. But it's got a lot of Sal Buscema, so I'm always happy with that. But I kind of want to move on to this. But I've gotten some others, Omnis, that I kind of want to read. I got the Alpha Flight one I kind of want to do, but I haven't picked which one I'm going to go and read straight through. Because I've gotten so many recently. But maybe it will be 2, It may be. I just read a bunch of Defenders in the last 2 years, so, I got the first 2, but... I have way too many copies of the Avengers Defenders War. But I think I may, I may just do 2, because I really want to kind of, because by issue 28, 29, it's moved into what I think is the classic Jack and Stan. We're seeing the origins, and now we're going to get in where they're just kind of doing a lot of one and dones before they kind of go, we're going to do something bigger.
Yep.
So that's the that's what I like. I think 3 of the 4. I think 2 of these issues were fantastic. The second one was pretty good. The third one was rough.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite of the 4 of them is Puppet Master. I really think it's my favorite.
Yeah, I think it's. I was debating this last night. It's either Puppet Master or Doom Namor. I'm not, and I could go back and forth on that.
Yeah, but they're all worth reading, folks. If you haven't read it, and you can if you can get through it. I mean, some people aren't Silver Age fans, some people aren't Bridesmaid fans, some people aren't Modern fans. Reading these are great because you're seeing really the formation of so much of the Marvel universe. I mean, Spidey and FF are the biggest things. They're the ones that more so than maybe, I don't know, maybe it is, I don't know. I've never read Thor straight through either. My brother Hugh would probably slap me if he was in the room because that's his, and I would like to read Stan and Jack's Thor. I mean, I read Roy Keith Pollard and I've read it on and off different runs, but that's something I like to do. So, all right, we got to get going. I'm going to go meet a friend's baby and return their dog that I don't want to give up because she's a great dog. But what are you reading right now?
Well, I just finished 5 Years Later of Legion, which was an experience.
You did all of it?
I did all of it. I started with issue 1 of 5 Years Later. I read The Valor. I read Legionnaires. I ended it with 0 Hour. I'm taking a break from Legion for a little bit before I go back to reboot.
I think you need to do that because I like the first half of 5 Years Later, and I like a little bit of the ending. Yeah. But there's that bit like right before the ending where they don't know what they want to do.
I was like posting on the Discord and whatnot.
Yeah,
like,
I was following along and staying out of it because I haven't read it in 25 years. So
sure.
I'm trying not to, I've got to get time to do a couple Legion issues so I can get through the rest of the action stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to get into the Superboy when it's a backup, and I think that's a better it's a better comic. But it's so far down the line, and I've got both Omnis, and I'd like to, maybe that's what I need to do, is I need to go down, and I don't post a lot on the Discord, because I like to lurk, because I'm like, I like everything. I'm a little easier to please sometimes. And
I tried so hard, man.
I
really
you gotta do
did.
It,
but...
I know you got to do it. I bashed just Santa Jack FF, publicly, and I don't feel any guilt. But maybe I need to go back and look at it. But see, I really do love the first 20-some issues. Are really interesting comic books. Is it the greatest Legion? No. I don't think it's in my top 5. But when he gets, it just meanders a little bit. He loses his way, and when he leaves, it just falls apart.
I said this before, and I'll say it again: is Giffen doing a Darker Legion is not bad as a base idea. The Beer Bombs were not the right people to be a part of that.
No, they don't have that voice.
They don't. And then there's some bad fan fiction that just Garth reveal is pure fan, and that's the moment where I'm like, you know what?
Oh, he's always been a pro. Hate's stupid.
I hate that.
Stupid.
I hated that, and that's the moment where I'm like, I'm done. This is actually flipped over into hate read, and I'm done.
Yeah, it's.
I finished reading it, but God, I was done.
I think the Legionnaire stuff is at the end. It's the only thing really.
Yeah, that was better, but I was still just done.
Yeah, that is some of the dumbest stuff, and I like the Beer Bombs. I've read other stuff they've done. I've liked it a great deal, but they're too nice of people to write that stuff. And what we're also seeing, what we're seeing in 5 Years Later, if you go and read Annihilation or his Guardians, and what he's good at space opera. He's really freaking good at it, and he reinvigorated the Marvel Cosmic Universe was dead. And he reinvigorated it, and you're seeing some of his practice run on it. So, but I get you. I think maybe I do have to read it and kind of chime in. But I like the stuff. I like the beginning of it. I really do like the beginning of it. I think it's really inventive. I like that style of art of his. I don't really. It's like I like. I mean, I don't want it all the time, but I like Giffen's big blocky stuff.
when he's more Kirby, it didn't work for me here. But when it gets more Kirby-ish than it does, as it gets later on and sometimes before, I like it. But here, it was just not my thing. And Al Milgram's angst did not help me.
I forgot he did it because Malstat leaves.
Yeah.
Does Malstat do any of it?
I don't think. No, it's all Milgram. And when Milgram writes, it's just incomprehensible.
Oh, is he?
He does Quiet Darkness, and you could put a gun to my head. I couldn't tell you what happened in it.
Oh my God, he wrote part of it?
He wrote all of Quiet Darkness.
I like it. I've read comics of his that I liked.
Okay, I couldn't tell you.
But normally with people, but I do like him as an inker on people because he inked. No, he did the pencils on West Coast.
And I remember liking that just fine, but him.
All right, folks. As always, thanks for listening. We're gonna be in about a month. We'll do another when we'll do episode issues 9, 10, 11, and 12. We'll finish the first year of the. Well, I don't know if that's the first year because I don't know if it was bi-monthly. But the 12th, we'll get through the next 4 issues of FF and tell you what you think. So until then, be smart, be safe, please be kind to one another, and read some comics.
Peace out.